So, Jason, did I at least upgrade the music a smidge? I went with licensed
It's
music there. Like,
it's a smidge. I was
you gotta help me
actually
pick a track.
what have I
Yeah.
done? I was actually just looking. So YouTube's got like a whole like thing
Oh,
of
yeah.
royalty free music. You should find like a bass
No, I
heavy
actually
like
have a
EDM
license with
bit. Yeah.
Morning Light Music, so I could grab
Oh,
one of
okay.
thousands of tracks.
Yeah,
If
just
you
grab
It was
like
very
a.
calming.
It was
Yeah, thank you.
calming.
I thought it
Yeah.
was too. All right, for everybody that's here, we appreciate your time on a Friday morning. I'll introduce myself real quick. We'll go around the room. I'm Matt. I'm the president of CyberRise Inc., a charity that is supported by the community. That's me. Robert?
Robert Chiaffi. I run an MSP in New York called Progressive Computing, but my role at CyberRise is to be our treasurer.
Cool. Jason Slagle, run a MSP in Toledo, Ohio. I am secretary of CyberRise.
Well, who wants to give the good news, the first piece of good news?
I don't know. We're going to have to fight for this one.
No, Robert,
I
it's
got
you,
one
man.
eye.
It's
I don't
you.
dodge punches. It's you then.
It's you, Robert.
Well, you know, this has been, it's actually been 4 years. It was 4 years ago in August of 2021, having suffered a massive ransomware attack in my company, and thinking about the gratitude that I felt and how I might be able to extend that help to the world is when I registered msp911.org. Now, we're not going to go deep into that whole story, but that the genesis of that now 4 years later has grown into CyberRise, which owns and will manage MSP 911, as well as some other great programs that we've got scheduled to launch or that are already actually happening. But one of the logistical things running an organization like a nonprofit, when the three of us have very busy lives, is who's going to do all the work, right? You know, Matt travels a lot. Jason is, you know, neck deep in things as an MSP owner, and so am I. So we are super delighted, and we're going to tell you exactly how we got to this point, is that we have an interim executive director on board now that will be able to help us get a lot more done. So, Matt, do you want to make the introduction?
I do indeed. And, you know, a big thanks. We'll get to how we got this funded, at least at this point here in just a sec, if I didn't already miss that. But I was paying attention to something else, so I apologize. But yeah, our human that we've brought on, and you know, Robert and myself and Jason sat down in our annual meeting that we had earlier this year. I feel like it was like 2 years ago, but that we had earlier this year.
No, it was
and
January.
It was January now. Feels like it was like forever ago. But we recognized that we needed to have somebody that was literally focused on and in the business, as Robert said. And yeah, let's bring on Stephen Kellogg. I think he's the guy to talk about. Stephen, you want to introduce yourself, brother?
Hey, happy to be here. Stephen Kellogg. I have my own consulting business, Blue Helm Tech. I'm also heavily involved in IR game and kind of feel like an octopus with a tentacle in a lot of things. And this is one of the things I was super happy to jump into.
Well, that's it, folks. I mean, you know, we're going to talk more, but this is the big announcement. Stephen joins us as our interim executive director, so that we can actually start getting more and more traction, right? We're running EOS, and we really need somebody to, you know, just get things done and move things along.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things to be done, right? I kind of want to rehash for everybody. Good morning, everyone. Josh, good to see you. Steve, good to see you. Will Spence, great to see you. Yeah, Will, my brain is a tangent. I feel like there's a few other women's calls might also be in that state, and that's actually
part of why I'm here.
Like, if you said that, thank you, Stephen. Exactly what we were talking about. I was bringing to is like a lot of people in this room are pulled in a lot of directions, and also aren't necessarily people that always execute. They typically have an executive role, and so it's really cool to have somebody that we can hand things to, and you just get it done, right? You're definitely that human. You're an integrator, right? Is the thought. But the things that we're doing, I'll restate the structure for everybody. We have MSP 911. right? We have Framework Maps, which Framework Maps is taking vendors' products and working to make them make sense for how they meet safeguards in various functions. And then, Stephen, do you want to talk about more of kind of what your vision is for this and what we talked about,
Sure.
the 3 programs?
Yeah. So I think for me, jumping in here, I did have a stint with Bob as co-director of Framework Maps, and I kept looking at the bigger picture of where things are headed under CyberEyes. And I think Matt and I had talked once or twice about, hey, you guys should have this, and then that turned into, hey, it should be me. So from those who don't know, I guess the overall structure would be helpful. There is the board made up of the 3 folks who are on my left, right?
Somewhere.
So they all have obviously massive experience in both the heartburn side and the success side of dealing with various different fronts. And out of that has spun the 3 sub-orgs. So there's the MSP 911 that they were talking about earlier. That is a, hey, I need help if I'm going through my worst day as an MSP. I think the part of that I'm excited about helping flesh out some is maybe some education pre that date to help fewer folks get into that mess. And then there's Framework Maps, which is, I think, where I first got more involved with Matt. December, I think it was, of 2023. Bob Miller reached out to me and said, hey, I think we need to help Matt facilitate this brainstorm that he has going with the mapping of the CIS framework. So for those that don't know that, there's a visual that was created that helps you look at and understand the frameworks. So we started with CIS. I guess I can probably say that we are also helping to do NIST 2 now and diving into that. And then the ultimate out of that will be able to look at vendors' products and vet how well they actually map to the controls. So there's that side of things. And then the last one is also super exciting. It's the hackening. And that one is working with the youth of today, trying to help fill the pipeline to make sure we have continuity in support in the cyber arena for kids and working with them on moving them into the cyber profession. I think the exciting part on that is helping college kids work with MSPs to get real world experience on, trying to do pen testing and reporting on that and working with real clients, which by default helps the MSPs find holes that they didn't know they had.
The other, thank you, Stephen. One thing that I want to say too is having you on board and me trying to switch myself and talk at the same time doesn't work. So I can't rub my belly and pat my head at the same time. We'll go ahead and say that. But having you on board, I want to apologize to our Patreon supporters, especially the Sticker Club. Like, we haven't gotten the stickers out. We haven't done a lot of things to communicate with them. We haven't filled them in on stats. We haven't done white papers on what we're seeing. There's a lot of things that take not just volunteers, but people making sure that the volunteers get the things done that need to get done and that we're driving what we need to do to deliver our message and our vision to this community for the betterment of the SMB around cybersecurity, right? So I want to apologize in that regard. That's going to get rectified right now. Stephen is his first steady task.
As it turns out, none of the 3 of us, like, if you got a sticker from me, it would be a stick figure. Like, I have a lot of skills. Graphics are not one of them.
My creativity is a little better than that.
Yeah.
Come on.
So we've got we're actually we've reached out to a couple of potential volunteers to help us do designs. Once we have designs, and the actual making of the stickers is the easy part.
Yeah, cat herders is appropriate.
Yeah, cat herders is right.
Point. Like, yeah. And
hey, listen, a beautiful sounding orchestra really needs a conductor, right? And so that's what we've been missing. We've got a lot of the right pieces and parts, a lot of talented musicians, if you would, sticking with that analogy. But we just don't have anybody who's really going to concentrate on pulling it all together and make sure people show up where they need to show up, doing the things that they need to do. And just moving our mission forward. It's hard work, and to do it simply only as a volunteer when you've got a business to run has been super hard. So this is why this is really monumental for us. Stephen coming on board is going to put jet fuel on the fire for us.
Yeah.
Yep. And another thank you, I suppose, is in order after this apology. But this thank you is that this position is funded from a very generous gift from GTIA. And one of the first things Stephen's going to be doing is writing a grant for some of the work that we're doing from the GTIA Gives program, or writing an application, I suppose, for that, for future funding. But his role is funded as an interim role. We're also making sure that our program directors are being paid at least a stipend for the work that we're doing for two reasons. We want to thank them for the work they're doing to build and drive the volunteer army that they are driving. But we also want to be able to hold them accountable and make sure that things are getting done. And so it's a double-edged sword, I'll say. But Stephen is going to be able to use that and drive all of us to be better at what we're doing. So yeah, that was my one thing. And I wanted to say thank you to GTIA for making that possible. So,
But I do want to call out that with the one thing we are not doing with any of this money is paying ourselves, right? Like one of the things we cannot, the way we structure the charter and other things of the actual 501, we're actually a 502c9 or 502a9 or something like that. We're a public trust charity. The way our bylaws are written, the three of us can never extract any value from this. Like, so we can't pay
like
ourselves.
not a coffee,
not even
coffee, not a meal.
Right?
I'm paying for I think the meal we're having in our meeting coming up here.
Yeah,
So,
right. Like, it's the same thing. So
that was intentional.
That was a very intentional. Like this, we do this for the good of the industry, and we do this because honestly, it's a legacy, right? We don't do this to try to extract money out of other people. Now, the people that we expect to do some of the work, they deserve to get paid.
Of course.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep.
And I also want to say, like, what is some of that work? Like right now, we've taken, I think, a total of 18 cases. There's 50 cases in our management system, but a good number of those were API testing failures.
Yeah, a good number of those blew my phone up for hours on end while you tried to figure it out.
I don't want to talk about it. But anyways, but that said, those are solved. But we have taken, I think, 18 cases, and there's been a few of them recently. Oh, and Jason, do you want to start off with this and just some of the things we're seeing and some of the help we need, some of the things we've missed, some of the things we've been doing directly in our own time? I mean, I've probably got 50 hours in it. I don't know if you're quite there or where you're at or more. Or maybe
the present case you're running?
Yeah, maybe not. Something like that.
I mean, I have to be about 20 or 30 at this point.
And I might be higher than that. I'm less than you from an active hours perspective.
Yeah, active hours, right? Like as far as like monitoring stuff, I probably have 20
That's
to 30
what I was
hours
counting.
hands on keyboard, right? Like
That's what I was counting.
We have an active case right now that we're still working. The MSP, I'm not going to say anything about them. They're still recovering. They're having a bad time, and one of the big things that they asked for is like, we need volunteers, and it actually showed a weak point in our in the way we have this organized, right? Like we're well set up and we're great to provide coaching and stuff, but like we don't really have a framework. I have volunteers. I've got multiple people that when I put the call out, they're like, tap me in, boss.
Ready.
Like, how can I go help?
Give me hands. Help me get in. Yeah.
But the reality of it is that we need to be very, very careful where we use volunteers, right? Like having been through multiple security incidents, I luckily, and I'm going to knock on anything wood nearby, have not had a full MSP incident, but having worked many incidents over the years, I realize that it is not a fun thing, right? Like it is very stressful. It is it's quick moving. Like you have to have a plan.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry.
One of the things that we have to do as an organization is make sure that we have a checklist. We were talking about it the other day in our internal group, and it's like, I want to provide bodies, but I'm not going to drop bodies into the top of a meat grinder, right?
Yeah.
Like we're working on developing an actual, like, here is the checklist of things that need to be in place before we can try to arrange volunteers to help you.
Yep. That was where I was going too, is that, when you're in such a mode and you're small enough that you cannot do anything but take the phone call, you have to stop taking the phone call. And some of the challenges we had is like people respond differently in panic. When
Yep.
some people are drowning, they will drown the person coming to save them. And there's a lot of training in lifeguard school of how to deal with that and when to kick away and deal with it. And right. And some of the challenges is like that was a struggle, is a struggle in this case, specifically of like, if they can't get a plan, I can't send bodies in just to suffer with angry clients that can't get fixed. If you walk in and can't restore something or can't figure out what's going on or have no tools and there's no bandwidth to give you the answer because nobody can take the call, I can't send you into that. And
Yeah.
I think we make assumptions of what people will come in with the capabilities of, and we need to do a better job of like, how do we prepare people? I think to Stephen's point of getting more people educated, do we make one-offs that we can hand somebody that in their time of need, they can at least read and understand what their things are about to be? And that's some of the, go.
I mean, I'm developing a library of scripts that will end up on our GitHub, right? Like
Yep.
these are things that you can help if you have an incident, right?
Yeah.
Like that can help triage, can help that.
Well-
Like that's an easy way for us to get back.
Exactly. And that is one thing that we were able to do very effectively. We never sent bodies essentially, but we did do that. I worked on a script to integrate the CrowdStrike deployment from their company that they did hire for this to deploy for DFIR. And you ended up deploying a massive amount of Claude code time into a script that has no dependencies and runs directly in PowerShell to egress directly out to a third party.
I have like a 70K PowerShell script that can upload files, find and upload encrypted files and readmes
but
to
anyways,
S3 with no
Well,
dependencies.
this case really underscored how emotions have taken over, right? Because the victim in this case was beside himself and was allowing emotions to govern thoughts and actions, and it even it manifested into a physical condition for him as well. And it was really important for us to try to move this individual off that that plane of existence into reality. And the checklists that we're talking about are not meant to be restrictive or punitive, but are actually designed and intended to accelerate the process in a very controlled and intelligent way, right? They can feel, when you're in that heat of the moment, and Jason, you said you didn't experience it directly. I have, of course, obviously. So has Matt and so many others. Yeah, I mean, the pain that you feel in that moment really just will, put you.
It's like letting your dad down times 1,000 in the moment, and every time your dad's calling you and texting you, like it feels like that. Like it's,
and it's not just that, but like you also feel guilt whether or not you did something wrong or not, but you feel it.
So
like
that guilt.
Times 1,000, right? So the checklists we're talking about are some of the things that Stephen talked about earlier about how we want to bring some of this education into the community so that we are helping MSPs do better and be better, right? So that was really big, important lesson for us in this particular case, not only to make sure that our services that we're delivering are effective, but also as a learning opportunity is what we're extracting a lot of lessons learned from this one, as well as some of the others to bring to the community.
I mean, effectively, you're running an IR plan for somebody else, right? So it's effectively continuing to build that out and take the lessons learned and re-put them back into the system. So next time it's easier-ish and better.
More like we're putting the bumpers up for bowling. Like we're trying to keep them from going in the gutters on their own non-existent or existent IR plan, to your point. And then to some stage, I think the one win that we did get out of this, I believe, was that moment that we basically got the human convinced to go and deal with the byproduct of health and let others take charge of the fleet.
That was massive.
And I think that prop, I don't want to go that far, but that was big for him. And I think also for his case and for his clients and for his or I said human, but better half. So anyways.
Yeah.
Well, this is why we do what we do, right? Somebody was in a world of hurt, and not just the MSP and their employees and the owner physically, but by extension, all of his customers, right? Which we didn't get a chance to talk to. But that's where my head was going through all of this. Jason and Matt were very, in the weeds with the details and writing scripts, and as they should have been, and they did an amazing job. but that afforded me the opportunity to kind of keep a little high level. And I was thinking about all of those customers, and also their customers and how they were suffering, right? These things don't affect just a small group of people or the people that you're talking to directly. They go far beyond that.
And big shout out to Chris Lair. Chris Lair is the program director of MSP 911. Not only did he bring us the awareness of this case and guide it to us for the guidance we were able to give, but also put in tons of hours, tons of connections, and that's why I love him as a program director for this, is he knows everyone and he knows what to do and what not to do. And so he was a great guidance and a great executive leadership on that. So I would like to say that went really well. And we're trying to be in an era of transparency. This isn't braggery. We're just almost having our meeting live with y'all. When we talked about this, Jason's like, we just want to be transparent about it, right? We want to be able to talk about these things where we can, and obviously non-disclosure where we can't. But ultimately, that's one program. And the third program, we actually have a big announcement coming about that program at some point in the next X. I don't know what X is, but we will be doing that. And we will be more intentional about having these types of streams, giving you more heads up for them, putting them in the right place so that the people that are supporting us can see that. We do have a free Patreon. Please join us there. It should be easy to find. Also, Bob Miller, woohoo, Steven, and you other guys. No, man, I feel the love. I got you. It's cool. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, and there's other things too. Some of the things that we've talked about before, and Stephen, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves on this, but like, for example, Bob Miller's IR game is looking for people to have a way to be able to be trained and functional as facilitators. Boy, seeing a little bit of stuff we do out of white papers from MSP 911 would be real helpful to get them down that path and the kind of training we could potentially provide for them in that space or others. So, yep. Anyways, just thoughts off my head. Anybody in the audience have any questions? I know there's going to be about a 12-second delay or maybe a little more for your comment to get back. But if you do, please pop them in. We are, again, being just extremely transparent. One of those being that I think we can only afford Stephen to about the end of the year. Yep. So we have real clear goals for Stephen to get done in that time frame.
Yep.
And some of those are fundraising. So don't be surprised if I make a connection between you and Stephen to ask your organization if they're willing to help us support what we're trying to do here. I'll just be upfront with that, and you can tell me no, and I'll still love you with all my heart. I just have to ask. That's my job. So anyways, I'll hand it.
We do have Discord servers for all four as well, CyberEyes and 3.
We'll get the website updated. As it turns out, another thing we're not very good at is web design.
Oh, that, yes.
So,
true story.
Thank you. Shout out to Dom for helping us out with that a little bit.
That's fair. I was able to change the color to yellow-ish. It wasn't the orange I was looking for, but bro, I got real close to yellow there somehow.
I definitely would have had to use like I can't. I've got buttons in the one project I'm working on in the AI stuff that are white text on a white background, and I'm like, I don't even know how to fix this. I'm gonna have to I don't do CSS. I don't do HTML.
Yeah, same. Ash could save us probably. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for everything you do. Thank you out there watching for everything you do.